enhancement, the Arcade Reaper. We're just gonna do a chill Minecraft stream, cause why the fuck not? I'm sure that's also gonna classify as an instant demonetization, but yeah. Did you know they made a thing on YouTube where you can't swear within the first 15 minutes of a video? I don't know why. Like, I really think we need a different freaking CEO of YouTube, because let's be honest, there's a reason why we have YouTube Kids. Right? And yet this one fucking company, whoever it was, I don't remember their name, the people who were supposed to protect children, whatever their name is, Kappa, Papa, whatever the fuck their name is. And they're like, you need to make YouTube more kid-friendly. It's like, first of all, there's a reason why there's YouTube Kids. If kids are getting on their parents' YouTube's accounts, that's the parents' responsibility. The parents are at fault if they view anything inappropriate. That is the parents' fault, not YouTube's. So fuck your head and then neck it wrote in on and leave fucking YouTube alone. Like, seriously, like, YouTube really needs to stop trying to make YouTube more kid-friendly. It's like, if anything else, push parents to using YouTube Kids more often. My fucking little cousins were using YouTube at fucking ages 4 and 3. I never used YouTube at that fucking age. I was watching fucking Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. I was watching Pokemon. I was watching fucking cartoons. I wasn't on YouTube. Yeah, exactly. And it's like fucking parents are wondering, like, people are wondering why America's going on the decline. It's because people are trying to get their kids addicted to technology earlier on. You got all these fucking hoes on OnlyFans. There's actually someone who literally did a statistic, and do you want to know what that is? That statistic is? By 2030, 50% of the male population will want nothing to do with an American woman. By 2030. Because they've proven that they cannot be loyal, that they cannot give the same values that a man wishes for a woman, that the female has higher standards for the male. And so do you know what a lot of guys are fucking doing? They're going out and finding women from fucking, like, India, Ireland, Scotland, like, anywhere in fucking Europe, like, Africa. Like, they're finding these fucking women from overseas. Especially women from Saudi Arabia, where they're as modest as can be, because in Saudi Arabia, they're only allowed to show their eyes. Because in fucking Saudi Arabia, their religion is this. Like, if you see any form of... If you see a woman, and you see anything other than her eyes, you look away. Because they don't want sexuality being anything that determines a woman. Because they don't want to deter themselves to a life of basically, I'm just going to say heresy, essentially. Is what they don't want. And so fucking, they won't even, like, look at a woman if she is dressed inappropriately. Do you think I can use andesite and granite to make a sky-esque aesthetic?
I guess.
Like, let me do an example real quick. I don't know, because I don't have the fucking time to get a sheep farm, and I'm too fucking lazy. Because if I were to do an aesthetic, it'd basically be like that, but further away, so you got, like, the sky, and, like, this would be, like, the clouds. I have a roommate behind me, for anyone who doesn't know. DeathClown on YouTube, check him out. He also does Twitch every now and then, when he feels like it. Once in a fucking millennia. Yeah, because I want to make it look like the farm has an underground civilization almost. Don't ask why. Have you noticed this? That for some reason, no matter what world I live in, I always end up underground. I always end up underground. I am a dwarf, and I am digging a hole. That is my life. That is my existence. I am a dwarf, and I am digging a hole. Like, seriously, for those of you who don't know, if anyone's never actually viewed my older Minecraft videos, I have an entire series, I think, maybe, I'm not sure, where I'm just building a pillar that goes from bedrock to the surface. I had a, or maybe it wasn't even a series, I think I just had a world where I was doing this in. It got corrupted, unfortunately. Sucked. Me and my friend spent countless hours trying to build an underground village. Never gonna get that time back ever again. And we had this massive underground fucking village. Like, it was detailed as all it can be. We're using advanced builds. We're gonna build one for, like, the blacksmith, the artisan, and, you know, every other kind of dude. And it was deep. Like, before the update for, I think it was, like, the Caves and Cliffs update is what it was. I had my building down to bedrock, but not max world height. And so when they did the update, I started terraforming my underground, and then had the pyramid that went into the deep dark. And there was Skulk, but I don't think they had the Warden in at that point. And I think it was just all the updates just broke my Minecraft, which is sad. Because I would have fucking loved to have that world still. I would like to work on it. I'm just gonna put more. Nope, I actually need the cobblestone. Yes, for anyone who watches my stuff, yes, I do use stone tools. Fuck off. Stone tools are just more effective for the long run for living underground. Coal, black wool, coal, white wool, coal, King Cold, King K. Rool. No one knows who that is. Carl, do you know who King K. Rool is? King K. Rool.
No?
Exactly why I say no one will understand who that is. I believe that's his name is King.
Music artist?
No.
Was it like the OG Donkey Kong?
No. Who was the main villain of the fucking original Donkey Kong, Carl?
I don't fucking know.
Are you serious?
Original Donkey Kong I knew was on arcade cabinet, now it's Donkey Kong.
Bruh. You mean to tell me you never played the original Donkey Kong on the console?
No. My first console introduction was a 360.
You cannot tell me you did not have someone who didn't have access to that shit. It was like free on the Wii, I think. I played it.
got a Wii till I was like living in Florence.
And you didn't know anyone else who had a Wii?
No.
What, you just had
Well,
no
I knew
friends?
someone who had a Wii, he was relative. But he had Skylanders and Zelda.
We were playing Skylanders when I get my fucking Skylanders. This is the first thing we were doing.
Didn't you give like do you still have my
I still have every single Skylander I've ever owned. I'm not getting rid of them.
I gave you?
Yes. I ain't getting rid of a single fuck. I actually did find it pretty useful actually having just the lower half. I actually didn't care that much because the lower half's actually the better part of the one dude. Ironically enough.
Wasn't that the punching boxing wolf ghost dude?
Oh, it was the pirate squid captain.
No, it was him?
Yes, he had a lower of him and he had a full set of him. I don't know why he had a upper and lower and then just another lower of him, but yes, he had two. You had a full version of him that you gave me, and then you had one that was just the lower half of him. And that's one of the swap force you gave me. Is you gave me both the upper and lower half of him, and you just had a second lower half of him, and it's like, I don't know if you want this because it's only lower half. It's like, fuck it, I'll take it. It means I can. I don't know where you would get this. But no, dude, I want to get some of the fucking limited edition Skylander ones. Like, there's one where it's a Christmas character. Like, I want to get the Cars one. The Car 1 looked fucking cool because it actually had an online multiplayer, but apparently they're never gonna make another Skylanders again. Which is depressing. But they were also going down the fucking drain ever since Giants.
I mean, Giants was fun. Swap
That's...
Force was okay. It's just after that.
Trap Team was cool as fuck. I don't care what anyone says. Like, Swap... Do you want to know what makes it even less sense?
What?
The graphics from Giants to Swap Force was worse. Like, the graphics got worse when you went to Swap Force. Like, it was like Skylander Spyro's Adventures levels of graphics, and it's like, dude, that shit came out on the Xbox. Like, that shit, straight up, like, Skylander Spyro's Adventure came out on the Xbox 360, and somehow Swap Force had the same graphics as Skylander Spyro's Adventure, and was worse than Giants. Granted, they allowed you to play as the baby characters, which is kind of cool, because originally the baby characters were only companions that could follow you around and couldn't actually do anything, but still. And yes, I do actually have a baby character of some characters. I have Gil Runt, Trigger Snappy, and Eye Small, which is a small version of Eye Brawler, which is a giant. Well, I don't know if you know. I don't know if you have... I have a knockoff version of... I have a... hear me out. I have a knockoff version of Crusher. Hey, I wanted all the giants, and my mom got me the last giant I needed, which was Crusher, and I still, to this day, will state that the best Skylander in the entire game is Lightcore Drobot, and no one will change my fucking mind. He can speedrun the fucking game like no one's business. Like, Lightcore Drobot smacks, because the thing is, when he enters when you put him on the portal, and this happens with any Lightcore, not just Drobot, there's a shockwave they release, so Lightcores are just naturally better. Oh, did I ever tell you that I finally obtained a fucking General Tree Rex?
I think you did.
I just need to get the alternative variant of all the fucking other giants, dude. I want to get the other variants of all of them.
I remember when Sam's Club, when it was like first came into Arizona, they used to actually have a legitimate game area.
They also used to be a legitimate business, too.
Bunch of Skylanders, Swap Force characters, giants, regular Swap Force characters that weren't actually Swap Force, just like the basic characters. It was like so cool, but then all of a sudden it's like stopped. They stopped doing that kind of stuff, and then like they made it right now you could get like a card, go to the register, scan and pay it for the thing, and then they have someone go get you the thing you purchased.
That's because it's also really easy to steal a Skylander.
Yeah, I know, but I would never do that because I don't feel like getting in trouble.
You only get in trouble if you get caught, Carl. Here's the difference.
I barely bought any characters from the Swap Force characters.
I'm just gonna put this shit back in the chest that they belong in, because I'm gonna need the space. Now see, I would love to get a fucking auto sorter, but my redstone knowledge doesn't extend that far into how to make an auto sorter.
YouTube, my man.
I would love for you to try and watch a video on that shit and see if you understand how that fucking works.
I mean, you just take it step by step.
It doesn't fucking matter, because each item works differently, Carl. That's the issue here. It's like trying to code a fucking computer in a video game. Let's see you try and figure that one out. You're literally trying to code a computer in a game. That's literally what you're doing. That's how an auto sorter works, is their explanation is you're trying to basically code a computer in Minecraft. It ain't as simple as look at a YouTube video, because there's auto sorters that can sort thousands of items at a time. And there's some that can only sort one item at a time. And then there's some that can only sort up to 6 different items. So it's like, you gotta realize that auto sorters are amongst some of the most fucking complicated fucking things in Minecraft. That and vault doors, as well as fucking, sky machines, are super fucking complicated. I have basic redstone engineering down. Advanced redstone engineering, out the door.
What about that one weird fucking thing where you showed me? It was like a, what was
What are you talking about?
Is
Are
it?
you talking about the vault door thing?
It might be.
My vault door is actually a very old way of doing it. It's a very inefficient
I
way.
mean, you showed me it because it was in the one Minecraft book I had. I showed you.
Yeah. Oh, they're talking about that one. Yeah, I can never fucking. I didn't know how to make that one. The one that I did in our one world that we were doing together was a very old, and I mean like old version of fucking redstone door. Like I'm talking about like before caves and cliffs, because people figured out how to make those more efficient and much smaller. I have not, because I'm just sticking to the redstone knowledge that I have, because I really don't want my brain to fucking melt out of my ears. Because redstone engineering, like I said, is complicated as shit. There are some people who are alchemist experts in Minecraft and can have memorized every single potion and have literally learned the language of the enchanting table. Yes, there are people who've learned a fictional language in Minecraft. Do you want to make it even worse for those people who tried to learn that language?
What?
It became pointless because they eventually made it to where when you hover over the fucking enchantment, it tells you what it is. In English, or whatever your language is set to. So that means those people who spent so much time trying to decode the fucking language of the crafting of the enchanting table wasted their goddamn time.
This dude is like,
Would you even be able to put that on a resume? It's like, do you know any other languages? It's like, I can speak enchanting table.
I can speak Star Wars.
No, I feel like if someone was a Star Wars fan, if you were trying to get hired by them, and they said you could speak a Star Wars language, I feel like they would hire you instantly. Unless it was Jawa, which is... Get the fuck out of here. And no one cares for the Jar Jar language.
That just makes you talk stupid.
No, Jar Jar Binks just talks stupid.
There's that whole
He's a Sith Lord.
Sith Lord, which
Like, that's actually been proven that he was supposed to be a Sith Lord. Like, there's undeniable evidence he was supposed to be a Sith Lord, because people hated him so much. And he's just backpedaled on that, and it's like, maybe not go with that idea. Because even his entire fucking race dislikes him and doesn't trust him. Like, he was literally ousted out of his tribe for some crime he committed or something bad that he did. But here's the thing, it's never explained what that was. Like, what is it that he did that was so horrible that his tribe ousted him? Like, the only thing bad enough for him to do that I can think of is him joining the Sith. Like, it's even been shown in, I think
what the fuck is this bitch
it's even been shown, I believe it was in a comic, that Jar Jar Binks knows how to teleport. Which is a very advanced, it's not actual teleportation, but I forgot what it was, but there's like a way you can use the Force to like move extremely quickly, faster than the eye can see. And when Jar Jar Binks and this one Jedi dude were on a cliff with the stormtroopers pointing a gun at them, he fucking wound up being on top of the cliff behind the stormtrooper in a matter of seconds. And even the fucking Jedi were looking, the Jedi looked next to him, looked up at the cliff, and then even the stormtrooper looked down, and at Jar Jar Binks, I was standing behind him, I'm like, how the fuck did you do that? Like, Jar Jar Binks is a fucking Sith, my guy. Like, even then, right? Look at his eye color. The only characters in Star Wars that have orange-colored eyes are Sith. Like, look at fucking... so many of the fucking Sith. A lot of them had orange-colored eyes if they weren't human. I don't know why, but that's... wearing all black and having orange... Like, look at Darth Maul, right? Black... he has orange-colored eyes. Look at... what the fuck, not Count Dooku. That's what I'm thinking of. What's his name? The guy who says, do what must be done. What the fuck is his name?
Palpatine.
Thank you. Palpatine had orange eyes.
I mean, I never really saw his eyes that often.
That's because unless you really pay attention, you wouldn't notice. But he has orange colored eyes. So it's like, dude's like a Sith. There's no way he isn't. There's so much evidence. Even the dude said that he originally wanted him to be a Sith, but backpedaled on that. So it's like, yes, he is a Sith, but also he isn't, because he kind of just backpedaled on that idea because people gave too much hate to Jar Jar Binks. But so here's what his idea was, and I think this is actually really smart. Jar Jar Binks isn't stupid. He plays stupid because it makes people underestimate him. Right? And then when he needs to be smart, he can be hella smart. But if all of his opponents underestimate him and think that he's a fool and not a threat, they're gonna tell him all their fucking dirty secrets. They're gonna tell him all they know. Why? Because they're not worried about Jar Jar Binks giving away their information to the Sith. Like, there's a reason why Jar Jar Binks ends up accidentally sabotaging the Jedi on multiple counts. It's not accidental. That was intentional. He intentionally sabotaged them. He says it was accidental. He said sorry. It's like he wasn't actually sorry. He was trying to sabotage them. Intentionally, because he was trying to help the Sith. He was trying to slow them down. He didn't want the Jedi to win. He hates the Jedi. He just pretends that he likes the Jedi. Jar Jar Binks, low-key, best actor in the movies. Better than Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren, I feel like he doesn't like character.
He could have. But so could Rey. If it wasn't written by a fucking sexist fucking bitch who wanted to ruin every single franchise she could get her hand on. The fact that she was excited to be able to direct the fucking Indiana Jones movies and kill off Indy spoke volumes, and she will never work in Hollywood again.
Not for any major fucking...
Not even minor films, like, she will not be able to work in Hollywood ever again. Please don't get aggro on me, dude. Thanks. I have an Enderman in here, and his entire room is, like, perfect height for him. And it's just like, please do not get aggro at me, my guy. I am just trying to do my thing. You know, it's like, yeah, they won't break off the contract because what she's doing isn't that bad, but it's like, the new Star Wars movies actually lost Disney money. Ouch. Motherfucker, I didn't even look at you for a minute. This is why I don't like Endermen. Stop pretending you're gonna hit me and hit me! What are you doing, you fucking spastic Enderman? Sit your ass still, dude. This Enderman kept trying to run around this entire thing. It's like, God, I get that it's oblong shaped, but damn. Chill out. I forget which room this is, honestly. I'm just gonna put this up here for now, just because it's a place that I know I can keep it safe. Nope. Nope. Yep. Wow. What? Hmm? What? What did you say? What did you say, Johnny? Where did that even come from? I don't even remember. Was it from like a song or something? I don't even remember. It was before our times. I fucking love watching those videos where it's like, did you know that Chuck Norris, and then it's just like something. Like, Chuck Norris built the hospital he was born in. And it's just like all these, like, of course most they're not true, but it's just like Chuck Norris is built to be like this, like, all omnipotent fucking person. He can just break the fucking laws of physics when he wants. Like, I remember there was a fucking this one, and I'm sure this would offend a lot of people, but I just find it more funnier just because of that. Whereas like, fucking, it was like in the Bible it says that God designed man after his own likeness, but God was designed after Chuck Norris. It's just like God. In my opinion, it's funny. Mainly because it offends a lot of people that really just are sensitive. Sensitive people that just really just need to shut the fuck up. Just thing, right? Like, I hate it when community, like, I hate how religions are done nowadays. Personally, like, I absolutely hate it. Because none of them, because the thing, right? That's why there's something called the New Testament and the Old Testament. Why is there a New and Old Testament when there shouldn't be? There should just be the Testament. Because people wanted to push an agenda to make money, capitalize off of people who wouldn't pay attention, and knew that certain people would not read the Old Testament. Why? Because why would you read the Old Testament? Because the older Bibles are harder to read and understand because the old way of English is lost on people of the modern era. No one nowadays can actually properly understand old fucking English. So it's like, why would I read this old version of this book when someone just created a more modern version of this book? But here's the only issue with that. It's not based off of the original writings either. Yeah, it's altered. It's not even accurate to what the original writing is. Like, you could compare a Bible from the 1900s to, like, even earlier, like the fucking 1500s. If you took a Bible from the 1500s and compared it to a modern day Bible, they will share so few similarities to the point where you can tell that it was altered. And to me, that ain't right. Because that shows that there's corruption in everyone. Right? Like, the whole idea that it's like, oh, you gotta stay pure, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, but it's like, also, you guys are just fucking pushing an agenda. Like, literally, the church in Florence, do you know what they fucking told to me and my mom, straight to our face? We have to run this like a business. It's like, it's a fucking church of God.
Dude, they have like a whole ass monitoring thing. That's like a big thing with the church. They ask for money.
Yeah, they ask for money, but they don't put that money, because that's the thing, right? The money that goes to the church is meant to support the church and the people who follow it.
But that's not what it's used for.
That's not what it's used for. It's meant to pay the fucking salaries of people who work there. It's like, first of all, you work at a church. It's not supposed to be an allowance. They're not supposed to get paid for working at a church. You're supposed to pay with your time. Like, I've already seen people where they get paid to work at a church. It's like, that's not what the church is supposed to do, because you're not supposed to pay to be in a church. You think the Pope gets paid for being the Pope? No. He's just supposed to do it. Like, literally, it's just American churches do this, too. It's not churches in other countries. Like, even fucking... There is. And they're all run differently. But only in America are they run like a business. And it's stupid, because it's not a business. It's a place of worship. You're meant to have your money. What you're doing is, that money... and this is at least from what I understand how some churches do it, that money is supposed to go into doing repairs for the church, to add things to the church, as well as support the community that belongs to that church. It's not meant to pay the salaries of other people. And I've literally had people say it too, it's like, oh, if you don't give money to the church, then you're not a true follower of God. It's like, I guarantee you God doesn't need your fucking money. What is he gonna do with that?
I actually have family members, or they actually used to work in a church, in like the school of the church.
Uh-huh.
So I guess I could ask them how that worked.
I went to a school church thingy.
I also went out.
I didn't have a real Bible. Do you know which Bible I brought to that church school?
What?
The VeggieTale Bible.
Jesus.
I could not fucking read the Bible for shit because it was just so boring.
I got me and my sister got taken to a church once by a relative who used to live next to my mom. That church was fucking. It was a big church, first of all. They had like a section, more modern section meant for kids, but the kids had an option to actually go to the main thing where the church was taking place. I just didn't feel like paying for all the kids, so I actually went to sit with the person who took us there. Got to order some juice, got some bread, and didn't give a shit about the rest.
And that's the other thing too, right? If people are so hyperfixated on truly paying homage to God, right?
Yeah.
And it's the thing that I hate most of all. Something people don't understand. Because there are religions that still do this. The blood of Christ isn't supposed to be water. It's wine.
Yeah.
It's how it was in the olden days. It's how it was for decades. And of course, politicians and other people are trying to change it. Because that's the thing, right? In the religion, because there's religions that still give wine to the children. Here in America, there's still religions that do that because the government cannot silence them and say, no, they can't do that. Because if it's for a religious purpose, they can do that. They can. And the thing is, the reason why wine is depicted as the blood of Jesus Christ is because he turned water to wine. He didn't turn wine to water. He turned water to red wine. That's what he did. He turned water to red wine. That's why wine is depicted as the blood of Christ. Because it's the reason why it's called blood wine or red wine. Like, yeah, a lot of people might not like it, and a lot of people have fucking values, and blah, blah, blah. Shut the fuck up. If you're truly religious enough that you would do anything, giving hundreds of dollars to a church, then you can drink some fucking wine. Like, yes, there are just some people who can't drink alcohol because of medical reasons, and it's like, okay, then just don't partake in the sacrament. That easy. I've seen people who wouldn't partake in the sacrament and like they wouldn't eat the bread or wouldn't drink the water, you know. I've seen people who are like that. I partaked in the sacrament because I would get fucking hungry halfway through and get thirsty because it's fucking long.
Yeah. Sacraments are usually fucking 4 hours. It feels like.
And so now they even have this thing to where they fucking broadcast a thing that's like part of a temple. At least that's how it was in Utah. They broadcast it live, and it was like this major like temple or whatever would broadcast it live on this one fucking kind of feed, right? And it was just this one guy just talking and talking and talking and talking. It's like, how about you, Mick? Shut the fuck up. Because the thing, right? Nowadays, mostly, fucking, you can just literally say that most religions nowadays are cults. Because none of them follow the original testament. It's not that hard. That's the thing. Like, it's not that hard to understand Old English. It really isn't. It's just their version of Old English. It's what's known as proper English. And it's not that hard to read proper English either. It's just called Be Smart. Like, Old English is one of the easiest forms of English to learn. Because there's, like, because that's the thing, right? Old English was very specific on their wording. And it's why fucking the Declaration of Independence and all the other shit was just vague on what they wrote down, right? Because the reason why it was so vague, but so specific, like the right to bear arms. And everyone's trying to say, it didn't say about an M4, an AK-47, it didn't say about a fucking Uzi. It's like, because they didn't have that shit. They didn't know we were going to have those weapons, but they knew we might advance weapons in the future. They didn't know what weapons would be like in the future, but they knew for a fact weapons were going to evolve throughout the age. They knew weapons were going to get better as time went on. So they said the right to bear arms because they were trying to be vague with it because they didn't know weapons would be what they are today. They didn't know. How would they know? So what they did was they decided to be as vague as possible so they could cover all their bases and protect every U.S. citizen. And if you even listen, right? And this thing I hate too is everyone's trying to say the Pledge of Allegiance is a part of the American culture, right? The Pledge of Allegiance was made by a guy in the UK. In England. It was made by a Brit. It was a song made for the British, right? Not even the Pledge of Allegiance. I think it was actually specifically the Star Spangled Banner. Right? The thing that's known as the most American thing ever. It was made by a British person. For the British. It's just... No, it's literally the same as it was, word for word. Because you gotta realize, too, for the fucking... the land of the free and the brave. It's not talking about America. That's the land of how the words were back when the song was first created. The land of the free and the brave... I believe was talking about when they, because I believe when this song first came out, is after I believe it was either after Queen Mary or King Henry, when they executed him. Think about that one, right? They just got rid of a dictatorship, essentially. And then they made a song about singing about the land of the free and the brave, because they rose up against the tyranny of a corrupt person. So, they rose up and became brave, and they were free. Land of the free and the brave. It's not talking about America. Because when the song's created, America wasn't even a fucking thing at that point. But everyone likes to think that America created a lot of this shit, but a lot of what America's based off of, hello, where do you think America's came from? Colonists from the UK. There's the reason why there was the Boston Tea Party. The Boston Tea Party was us rebelling against our UK overlords. I honestly wish America is still stuck with the UK, because look at how many fewer problems the UK has compared to America. They have less gun violence. They have a lot less fucking weapons violence in general. Like, a lot of people... This is one thing I would love to say to like, don't get me wrong, I love our guns, right? But for anyone who says they don't like how our gun laws are here in America, it's like, go ahead and move to Europe then.
They're not wrong, though, because, you know, the AFT, or whatever the fuck they're called,
ATF.
they're trying to shove regulations down our throats to the point where they want to make it to where we don't want to.
Like, that's the thing, right? If people are so adamant about people not owning guns, right? How about you go to Europe and see how the fuck their gun laws are? They're not allowed to own guns, they're not allowed to own knives, they're not allowed to own swords, they can't own any sharp weaponry, they can't, like, just get fucked. If you don't like how fucking America's gun laws are, then just get fucked. Go to fucking UK or Germany. Did you know in Germany they can't own any firearms? None. They can't own any firearms. Do you want the closest thing they can own to a firearm is? Harpoon gun. That's it. And you have to go through strict fucking regulations to even own a harpoon gun. So you have to go through to buy and own a gun. They have to do that to own a harpoon gun. Not even a firearm. A thing meant for fishing. To get a taser, they have to go through the same policies that we do here to get a fucking gun. Even their knife laws are super fucking strict. But the thing is, they are also a lot more lenient with knives in Germany. But in the UK, you can get locked up in prison for fucking owning a certain knife. Like, the most here in America they'll do is they'll just confiscate your knife. And let you be on your fucking merry way. They might give you a fine or a ticket. Unless the cops really wanted to be a fucking dick and lock you up. But it's like, it's a fucking knife. Especially if your reasoning for having the knife is for self-defense. They can't really exactly lock you up if it's for a defense reasons, right? Because you have the right to defend yourself. Because you can carry around a sword, right? This actually is a thing that I've looked up. You can carry around a sword here in America. But the only thing is, like how he said, you have to open carry it, right? You can carry around a sword. You're gonna get fucking weird looks. You're gonna get people who are scared. It's like, boo fucking who? You know what I mean? It's like, whoop-de-doo. You're scared of a sword. Our ancestors used this shit. Don't know what you're scared about. It's like, fuck. People are so sensitive in the modern era against fucking weapons of any kind. Like those fucking one people. We were trying to ask them for help because we were actually fucking needing help. And all because they seen a sword on my back. They are fucking scared and called the cops. It's like, bro, are you serious? Yeah. And like, they thought we were going to fucking attack the school or some shit. It's like, no, we were just fucking, I had a mental breakdown. I was paranoid as shit. I was hallucinating. And I wanted to have swords as at least a fake form of defense. And they're like, well, what if you hallucinate and attacked your friend here? It's like, that's not how hallucinations work there, my guy. It's like, fucking, for reals, like, people fucking think just because schizophrenics hallucinate that they will turn on people. It's like, no, it's like, my dad's never attacked anyone because of a hallucination. When he was on drugs. Yeah, exactly. Like, people, when they think about schizophrenia, and they understand that people with schizophrenia hallucinate, right? They think they're going to attack someone when they hallucinate. No, like, the only time you see people attacking someone from hallucinations is when they're on fucking drugs. But that's because their perspective on what a person is changed, right? And that's what people don't understand is hallucinations from drugs is different from when you hallucinate as a schizophrenic. And that's the ignorance of people not wanting to actually understand what is an actual severe mental health issue. And it's just the ignorance of people misidentifying the differences between a schizophrenic and just some guy who's tweaking out on fucking heroin or fucking meth or cocaine or acid. Fucking that is bath salts, my dude.
Oh, and there's also a drug that certain people use to fucking make you not remember the single day and rob you later.
That's just a certain drugs in general, my guy. My dad doesn't remember a fucking. My dad was on drugs at one point. He didn't even remember an entire fucking summer. Yeah, if you're on a hardcore enough of drugs, you won't even remember an entire year. And that's something people don't fucking understand. Like, drugs can do a lot more than what they fucking think. Like, think about it, right? Did you know we already had super soldiers, and we had super soldiers in World War II, and so did Germany? Yes. Do you know what the thing we used was?
What?
We had used a combination of cocaine and fucking painkillers and a few other things, and we put them together in a single fucking pill. So and what this fucking drug combination did was, it'd keep our soldiers awake for fucking weeks on end. So we had super soldiers. We had soldiers during World War II who were just hopped up on so many fucking drugs that they wouldn't notice when they were hurt until it was too late. We would have them just continue fucking marching forward for weeks on end. They would stop to eat and drink because they had someone who was alert enough to fucking make sure that everyone was still fucking alive. But it's like, people don't realize that we've done fucked up shit to our own fucking soldiers too. But, and then you got fucking human rights activists who are just fucking pansies and realize that you can't advance human society without breaking a few eggs. That's just how it is. Like, I'm sorry, but without doing fucked up shit to ourselves, we will not be able, like, look at, okay, this is a very controversial thing that I'm going to be talking about, but it's factual, alright? You cannot deny facts. What the Nazis did, horrible. The Holocaust was a horrible thing. But scientists literally said we would not have any of the technology we have today if it was not for the Nazis. Why? Because the Nazis didn't care about human life. They wanted to advance science, medicine, war tactics, engineering. They wanted to advance all these fucking fields like engineering, science, medical, everything. And they didn't care if the humans that they were testing those things on were dying from it because they were getting cures. Think about hepatitis. The Nazis created that cure. The Nazis are finding cures for cancer way before any other country were. They were finding cures for hypothermia. Yes, they were killing people in the process, and that's why they're called doctors of death. But this is why I also, my personal opinion, I think we should use the doctors of death doctrine not on civilians, but on death row inmates. They're gonna die anyway. Why not? And when you're on death row, all your rights go out the window anyway. You have no human rights when you're on death row.
You're still just waiting in a cell.
Like, I fucking have seen videos of people on of what people talk about what death row is like, and you're literally just waiting in a prison cell on your own.
Yeah.
Yes, you might get the fucking president or mayor or whatever to pardon you, but
That's like a one.
yes, I know. What's fucked up? They actually fucking put a autistic person on death row because they got a forced confession. The worst part is, do you want to make it worse? All the prison guards realized that this wasn't the man who murdered people. This wasn't him. Everyone in that prison knew it wasn't him. All the inmates knew it wasn't him. But none of them fucking spoke up and stopped the murder of this one autistic person because they needed to kill somebody. Yeah, so the actual murder was never caught. And they just killed someone just because someone needed to die. Yeah. They couldn't find him.
Wow.
And so they just like, we killed this guy, so good enough for us. But everyone knew that wasn't the guy. And that's what makes it fucking worse. That's what makes that fucking specific case so bad. That's why I say our prison system's a failure. Because yeah, most people want to go back to prison because when you get out of prison, you have no fucking way of getting a job. You don't have any way of getting a fucking house. You don't have any way of doing anything when you get out of prison. People ask, like, why do people keep committing crimes? It's because, not because they want to. It's the way they have to survive. When you commit a crime once, you're permanently ostracized by fucking society. People are like, well, criminals are just criminals. It's like, no, they're not. My dad was an ex-con. They can be clean. It's just that some of their fucking lives are so fucked up after getting out of prison and jail that they don't have a choice. They don't have a choice but to get locked back up. Some of them are so fucked up mentally after being locked up, they can't function in society. Look at the fucking prison systems in fucking Norway and Sweden. They have a fucking 6% reincarceration rate. Why? Because their prison system is about rehabilitation. They teach them valuable skills that they can use in normal fucking society. They teach them how to do carpenter work, woodwork, farming, engineering, electronics. And guess what? They never have a single prison escape. Why? Because their fucking life in that prison is actually really fucking nice. And that's the only thing a lot of people don't fucking realize is prisons are actually really fucking nice to live in. Especially if you have the top fucking time and money to fucking put forth the money in your prison cell to make it nice. Because there's some fucking prisoners who have flat screen TVs and fucking cable inside their prison cell.
I've actually seen what a prison TV looks like.
Yes, they're clear and see-through, I know.
Yeah, but they're also in a case
Yeah.
to make sure you can't fuck with anything.
And that's something people don't realize is prisoners can live a better life than you inside prison. And people wonder why people will try to get relocked up. Because when that person buys those things for that prison cell, I don't even think they get that stuff back. I think it just stays in the prison for the next person.
It's cleaned and given to the next person.
Yeah, it's like it just gets given to the next person, so it's like
I don't know if you're actually being able to get a legitimate video game console in there.
probably, but they might have it kind of how they have stores set up where they have it tethered, so you can't actually take it anywhere.
That's kind of annoying.
But I mean, it makes sense.
It makes perfect sense.
Because then you can't just fucking like make a bomb out of it, which you could if you had the resources to.
I mean,
And you had the,
literally
but
like a prison milkshake.
yeah, like they have tons of shit if they have time and money. And And people wonder why they keep trying to commit crimes, because they want to go back to their life of luxury, because living in actual society is so horrible, and they're ostracized and treated so poorly. Why would I live in normal society if my life inside prison was so much better? I don't have to worry about taxes. I don't have to worry about rent. I don't have to worry about work. I don't have to worry about fucking if I'm gonna eat tonight. I don't have to worry if I'm gonna drink, if I'm gonna fucking starve to death. I don't worry if I'm gonna thirst to death. Why? Because all their fucking needs are taken care of. They're given medication for their mental health issues. Why? Because the fucking prison system has to. If they have mental health diagnosis, the prison has to give it to them.
Unless they just want to be dicks.
No, they physically can't, because human rights activists fucking will absolutely fucking destroy them if they do. It's the fucking one thing that human rights activists fucking get hard on. The thing is, to get medication for inmates is also really fucking hard. Like, I wasn't even gonna get given any medication if my dad didn't bring my medication to the place I was locked up at. Yeah, so I was gonna have no medication, which even when I was locked up, my medication did jack shit, as I was still fucking hallucinating, seeing the Joker talking about how he's gonna break me out of prison. Yes, I was that fucking bad with my hallucinations that I was literally hallucinating the Joker from Batman.
Which one?
Good fucking question, I don't remember. Yeah, I know. It wasn't Heath Ledger's, but it was like one of the animated Jokers, I don't fucking remember which one. But, I mean, and that's the thing people don't get, is like, oh, criminals are just criminals. It's like, no, there's more fucking to it. If you actually make it an institution to rehabilitate them, and you give them life skills, and instead of just releasing them on their own, if you train them to have certain skills before they get released, and then contact these companies, right? Like, if you have companies, right, that hire inmates fresh out of prison, or fresh out of jail, based off what skills they learned when they were locked up, crime rates would drop drastically, right? And that's the thing too, right? You could say, you could have like this too, right? You're only getting paid minimum wage for what this job type pays until you can prove that you're trustworthy enough to not commit another crime, and then your pay will go up. If you don't commit any crimes while you're working for me, your pay will go up, and that's how you earn your raise. Until then, you're gonna be working for minimum wage for what this job type pays. You know what I mean? Because construction, right, pays fucking in between 16 to 25 bucks an hour. That's a lot. But let's say if the prisoner went to go do construction, right? Because he learned how to work power tools and other things like that, right? Well, he'd be working for minimum wage. Let's just say the minimum was like 18 bucks an hour, right? Okay, he's going to make 18 bucks an hour. 18 bucks an hour is enough to fucking at least rent a hotel for a night, for the day, because let's say they worked off of a temp agency style of work, right? They get paid per day, and they get it put on a card that the person would give them, right? So they get paid for that day. They would get, on average, when I did temp agencies for construction, I was getting in between $400 to $800 a day. A day. That's fucking me able to pay. That'd be enough money for me if I wanted to own a house or rent a house. Rather, I could pay rent with that money. I could pay some from the fucking rent, some of the bills. I could still get food. I could pay, you know, with $800 for a single day, and you get the $800 every single day for a month. You'd have like fucking close to anywhere between like fucking 10. You'd have close upwards almost to like 10 grand. I'd have to do the fucking actual math. Let me pull the fucking calculator and I can tell you the exact fucking numbers. But you'd have close up to 10 grand, right? With 10 grand, you can fucking rent a home. Because most homes are like close to 1,400. Right? And that's a decent home. Let's just say you did $800, and let's just say you times it by, let's just say 30 as the average, right? That's actually more than 10 grand. Do you want to know how much that is? If you worked every single day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, not counting holidays, because actually I've learned this, that construction sites actually shut down on the holidays. I've learned that. That's actually kind of interesting. That's $24,000 if you're making $800 a day, that's enough money to rent a house, pay your bills, get food, go to a restaurant if you fucking wanted to. And that's just saying that this fucking prisoner who just got out of prison, who learned construction while he was locked up, went to be a construction worker, right? And this construction site's all done up by just prisoners, right? And so, what that does, right, is if you set up a system that makes it to where these guys have to go into work every single day. Think about that, like that's their parole, right? Let's say these guys get let out early, right? And I see some people, it's like, oh, well, the reason why crime rate's so high is because we let prisoners out early. It's like, even if you don't let them out early, they're still gonna fucking be the same because you're not doing anything to fucking rehabilitate them. So think about that one? If you actually rehabilitate your prisoners to work in normal society, maybe life would be fucking better. But no fucking politicians and no fucking businessmen want to realize and put two and two together. It's why I personally would love a fucking president who's from the fucking hood. Or a president who worked as a psychiatrist or a therapist. Why? Because they would understand extremely fucking well what's wrong with people in America psychologically. Would they push their own fucking agendas? Of course they fucking would. Would they be able to manipulate all of America and guarantee they win just because they can out-psychologically maneuver their opponent? Of course. But think about it this way. They would know exactly what to say and what to do to make America good, because they understand humans on a psychological level. Because that was their job before they tried running for president, was to understand humans on a psychological level. That was their job. And I stand by that. Like, a fucking president from the hood, or someone who was a therapist or a psychiatrist, before they tried running for president, that would make the best president. That, or a fucking president who was actually in the military. We haven't had one in fucking over 10 years. Which to me is absolute horse shit. Because I hear so many veterans who are outraged by how America's being done up. It's like, then how about, I don't know, change shit. Exactly. No one wants, like, no high-ranking official wants to fucking leave the military and become the president. But it's like, you hate how the country's being run, then fucking change. Change shit. Become the fucking president yourself. Run this bitch. Like, it's that fucking simple. You don't like how the country's being run, then, oh, I don't know, run yourself. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's not a wrong thing to fucking say either, because it's fucking truthful. It's like, if you don't like how the country's being run, then run for president. If you think you can do better, then try. Right? And it's not a wrong thing to say. It's like, if you don't like how the country's being run, then fucking try and run it yourself. If you think you can do better, then try. Because that's literally all you can fucking do. I'll probably have to tweak this sky with wool and other stuff later, but eh. Just because I know this isn't going to look that great. From below, I can already tell. Maybe from further away it might look better, but I don't actually know. Okay, I'm primarily just trying to get enough of this blue stuff so I can actually have a frickin' sky. A No Man's Sky. I'm still depressed that No Man's Sky didn't do as good as it did. I've really had high hopes from a No Man's Sky personally.
And if I had someone to help walk me through it, I might have enjoyed it.
That's the fun part about No Man's Sky, is that you're pretty much alone. You gotta think, right? There is supposedly a multiplayer in there, but the thing is trying to find people, right? Because everyone's put somewhere different in the galaxy. So it's kind of like, can you find somebody? It's the best part. But even then, I don't think it's crossplay either. So like, if you had No Man's Sky, you can only play with someone who was on PlayStation, or if you're on Xbox, you can only play with someone who's on Xbox. You know what I mean? I actually might need more of this blue material, because I don't think actually I even have enough, even if I do try and make a bunch of clouds. Which is unfortunate. Yeah, fuck it, I'll just leave it. But no, I still think my fucking idea, though, is amazing to get people to actually, like, who are outraged about how sports are in this current era. You can't say that my idea, while it would be almost impossible, because of how long it took for the Paralympics to even be a thing, or even sports to deal with disabled people in general. If we did it, yes, there would still be people who would try to find a reason to complain. But they're just fucking assholes who find a reason to complain about anything. So that, in my opinion, their opinion doesn't matter. Because there's always going to be people out in this world who will find any reason to complain about anything, even if it's about something they fucking wanted to be fixed and changed. It's why they're called Karens.
Karens are not good.
No. And I'd fucking dread the day Karen went to office.
Karen went to office, I think someone would literally go to jail just to kill her.
I mean, people tried killing President Trump and failed. Well, not really kill, but attack. I was laughing my ass off when I seen that dude football tackle fucking President Trump. I'm sorry, that was still funny. I don't care if you like Trump or not. That's just funny shit. Yes! His bodyguards failed so bad. Like, this guy full on... So from what I heard of the story, right? This guy plowed through barricades, security guards, just to get to President Trump, and then fucking shoulder checked him into the side of a building. And tried to beat the shit out of him. I seen this, and I was dying of laughter. And I think he wasn't the president at this point. I think he was trying to, this is when he was trying to run for president. But the fact that his bodyguards failed to stop this guy before he got to the president is just funny. Because I like to imagine that his security guards are just like, we really don't like this guy, let's just let him through. Go on, do your thing, we'll pretend to stop you. That's what I like to imagine. It's like, we'll pretend to stop you, it's fine, go. That's my headcanon with that. I like to fucking imagine that's how that went. They just fucking didn't give a shit. They just wanted to see the president get hurt, or I guess wasn't the president at the time, but they just wanted to see Trump get hurt. They wanted him to get a reality check. I still find it so absurd to think that he used to be a wrestler.
Trump?
Yes.
Probably in his high school days.
Oh no, he fucking was in a wrestling. He was a wrestler. Fucking from what I'd have to look at it, but he was. I don't think he was WWE, but he was like a legitimate wrestler before he was doing business.
If this doesn't work,
I have to look it up.
I have the game installed. I have the disc inserted. Can't tell which bullshit.
Oh, I know what okay, do you want to hear what it was? So it was a thing in WrestleMania. Do you want to know what it was called? The Battle of the Billionaires. So it wasn't just Trump either, it was other billionaires in the world who were competing head to head in boxing and wrestling to see who could win. So basically it was just a thing saying which billionaire can kick whose ass. And from what I understand, Trump was like the best of them. But then again, he was probably also the only person who was actually, you know, legitimately paying for fighting lessons. I wouldn't put it past him. Get bent. Has anyone ever figured out why the fuck Enderman wanted to collect blocks again? Like, anyone ever figure that fucking mystery out? I think Matt Pat figured it out at one point. I don't fucking remember the theory, though. I am a loyal theorist, but I just have shit memory. I feel bad for this one YouTuber. He's in the FNAF community, and he's just getting so much hate for his theories, and it's like... I really wish I was there for whenever these people were trying to give him hate, and I would just tell him, like, go fuck off. Like, anyone who ever tried to leave me a hateful comment on any video, all I gotta say is just, get fucked. You know what I mean? Like, just go fuck yourself, okay? It's not my fault your parents left or something, your daddy left and never fucking came back. Had parental issues, being bullied yourself. Gotta blow off some steam, gotta hurt somebody else's feelings because your feelings are being hurt. It's called fucking suck it up, and why don't you actually learn to deal with your fucking issues instead of trying to fucking put your issues on someone else's fucking lap. You know what I mean? Like, if you're that fucking hurt by somebody else, why do you gotta fucking cause pain on somebody else? It's like, do you know how counterproductive that is? Like, it's why I find it so stupid. Like, this is the one thing that a lot of people forget is that fucking Obama literally passed a law stating that it was illegal to bully people, but it's like, schools literally don't give a shit. Like, literally, Obama passed a law that states it is illegal for kids to bully other kids. That students cannot bully one another. It's literally against the law. Exactly. No one's enforcing it. It's one of those laws that doesn't get enforced, none whatsoever. I still say that the fucking No Child Left Behind Act was the worst fucking act any president has ever done. Every kid qualified for this. It was Obama that abolished the No Kids Left Behind Act. Carl, when Obama was in office is when the No Child Left Behind Act was abolished. So put that in perspective, if when you graduated, Obama wasn't in office. When Obama was first in office, I believe it was Obama, it might have been the president before Obama, I don't actually remember. I believe it was Obama. They abolished the No Children Left Behind Act because they realized it's just making kids who are too stupid to actually function, or too stupid for that curriculum, to continue going through school without actually understanding what the fuck they're learning. I don't know why this president ever passed a thing with the No Child Left Behind Act, because that is the stupidest idea fucking ever. How do I know this? Because I had straight F's throughout my entire fucking year of going to school. Why? Because I wasn't fucking smart enough to understand what the fuck I was doing, as well as never really did my homework. I did my schoolwork when I was in class, but I never did my homework. And so the Children's No Child Left Behind Act is the only reason why I continued to go through school. It was the only thing keeping me going, even though I really shouldn't have. Granted, my mom locking me up in multiple mental health institutions didn't fucking help either. I mean, as I'm getting further down, and still kind of looks like shit, but it's looking less like shit.
Why would Microsoft go to the damn trouble putting an old-ass game they say isn't backwards compatible in their Play Store still? The only thing they did was like, this current game is currently unavailable. That's the only thing that they still left in there. They updated to that height where it says it's available to play on newer gen consoles. Now, man, I'm
Have you tried to force open it?
I mean, even if I stick this game, it doesn't acknowledge this.
That's not what I'm saying. Have you tried to, like, brute force it to open the game?
I've tried, and it says, do you own this game? And it says, take it to the PlayStation Store.
The PlayStation Store?
I mean, the Microsoft Store.
Why don't you just try and boot the game from your phone? It's literally a function that the app has, is you can boot up any game from your phone. As long as you own it.
I mean, technically own it, but some consoles, even PlayStation, doesn't like acknowledge you need to own a game. This game.
That still doesn't answer the question if you've tried it.
I haven't tried.
That's the only thing is you try to open it from your phone, because even you said that it acknowledges it on your phone, but just not the console. Because even then, it literally just could be a thing that they're just not allowing people to play their fucking Transformer games because they don't have the rights to it, so they just are. It's technically, yes, it is in their store, but that's just because they ported every game they've ever owned to that store, even if they don't have the rights to it anymore. You know what I mean? So what they're doing is they're showing you. It's basically like a Wikipedia page, right, of everything they've ever owned the rights to. Even if they don't own the rights to it anymore, they're still going to show it because it just shows that they own it.
They only show like Transformers Devastation, the modern one, and only when they see like their actual store is the Fall of Cybertron.
I mean, isn't Fall of Cybertron the first one?
No, it's War for Cybertron, then Fall of Cybertron.
I don't fucking know. I never really played any of the ones. I only played the Michael Bay one.
So both Transformers.
Yeah, because there's also the coolest. And that's undeniable.
Yeah,
It also had the best graphics of any of them.
I just fucking Fall of Cybertron.
That's because you're diehard for the originals. You fucking boomer.
I mean, there was older Transformer games for fucking the original Xbox and PlayStation.
I still doubt that you would ever get the arcade game.
There were several Transformer games.
I only know of one.
There's a fucking one from like Get Off, Ghetto Ass, PSP knockoff of legitimate Transformers arcade game. There's one that was made a handheld arcade side-scroller one for the animated series. It was really a portable handheld.
That's not an arcade. I'm talking about a full-on arcade cabinet. Not an arcade-style game. I'm talking about a full-on arcade cabinet. This thing is a railgun shooter because they can't actually fully program an actual Transformers game in it. The only Transformer arcade game I know of is railgun shooters. You don't actually get to control anything. It's all your movements are pre-decided, so you have to basically just shoot shit. And you're not even playing as a Transformer either. From my understanding, you're always playing as a fucking human. But you just, for some reason, have a gun that can do shit that can damage them. I don't know.
Trying to brute force it from the app doesn't work either.
I don't know why you're so determined to try and play an Xbox Series X if you literally have a console that can run it.
Yes, but that thing
And
is now
it's not going to wake your dad for running on Xbox 360. It's not like it's a jet engine.
Dude, it's louder than your PS4.
My PS4 ain't even fucking loud.
It's louder than any console in this entire house.
No, your PS4 you had was the loudest. I've heard your Xbox 360 being running. It's not as loud as you fucking think it is. I would love Sorry about that, everyone. We had a
Mechanical fan problem?
yeah, our fan blade broke, and
Oh,
we had
where it held the screw and it broke.
yeah, and so we had to fix a fan. We fixed it, sort of.
I'm just gonna get it.
Hey, there's one way you can also fix it without ever telling your dad that we broke it.
Don't say anything?
Don't say anything, and we slowly find ways to reinforce this, like using cement paste. Because cement paste is actually very strong, and we would never know.
No, it's very strong, but we'd have to buy some.
We have some, because that's what you use to bind PVC pipe, which your dad has.
There's different types of that, though.
It's
But you don't use that specific type on just everything. That's
You can-
really meant for PVC.
It is.
PVC only.
it's technically speaking, you can use cementing paste on anything. It's just it works better for PVC. We will find a way. We just don't have to say anything. There is actually a way we could do it, which might work.
I'm listening.
But it also might not work.
And what would that be?
Given the RPMs, I'm not sure if it would work.
I mean, considering that cheese of things causes, but I don't even know what caused it to fracture. Because I've stopped it several times from just full blast.
I think it was just because it was running at a full blast for a long time. But yeah, I've never seen a fan do that. But again, this is a wood fan, and
It's
most
also an LED fan.
that wouldn't matter if it was LED or not. It's the fact that it's wood, because most fans that I've seen are made out of a thicker wood than that.
Yeah, but those usually have like a metal bracket that screws onto the actual motor.
Exactly. They're reinforced with a metal
My
bracket.
dad also has a wood-based fan.
But yours is just wood that goes inside the rotating piece. I will end the stream here though. I probably might edit it down and fix it, but
Dad still has some spare fan blades, but I don't think they're the same kind of fan blades.
I will see you assassins in the next one. Bye bye.
No.
Bye bye.